charm could she find in the eyes of someone? So the Rebbe says this in itself is a hidden miracle in nature. So b'meila, these are the two ways. There's a nest. The Bechal doesn't see the nest, or he sees the nest, but he sees from teva, from nature, that this is not natural. There's something hidden there in the background. So the Rebbe says, this is the difference between the two situations in the story of the Megillah. It was a situation of Haman's decree, which then it was no way they say no leiroinu, that bechlal we didn't see any miracles at all. When it came to the redemption of Yidden, which was kima, it was slowly gamer that he went out from front of the king, which means that it was, as mentioned earlier on Amud Kuf Lametes, that first he was Bachatzara Melech. First he was in the yard of the king, and after that was that the Haman took him and put him on his garment and rode him through the streets of Shushan. And then it was that he himself put on the garment of kingdom, of royalty. And then it was like Huda Meseira V'Simcha Yidden, the Jewish nation had light and joy. So this was stage by stage. But still, at that point already, this was Aces, miracles, signs higher than nature in a way that they saw them. But the Aces were melubash, were already enclosed in the garments of nature. Which means, Shal Yidei, the other words, it was a whole thing. She made one party, then she made another party. And Mamela, this is Shal Yidei Zeh She'Esther Rosasar Mishta Yaim Bepam Rishena. Esther made the feast in the first time, V'achakach Bepam Ashni the second time. Nizgalgulu Advarim. So then came Nizgalgulu Advarim. It resulted and dragged into the chain reaction. Shahufra Machshavte Yoro Shalaman. So that Haman's evil thoughts plot was destroyed, nullified. Till Achashverosh himself said, that he's giving away the house of Haman, which was given to Haman, he's giving it away to Esther, which is inyan of his hapche, complete conversion. And here comes in a inyan which the Rebbe said in Fabrengen in 1954. It was Purim, and Purim was Friday, and the Rebbe then Yudalet, 54, and it was Friday, and the Rebbe then Fabrengt towards the end of the day. By like after Mincha. The Rebbe Fabrengt there was a Fabrengen, where the Rebbe washed, and it went into the night. By that Fabrengen, the Rebbe spoke a lot about Jewish education, since the children were the ones that accomplished the nullifying the decree in time of Haman, Mordechai gathering the children. And in addition to that, the Rebbe also said another inyan. That B'Shaset came to Esther, and when she didn't know what to do, if she should go to the king or she shouldn't go to the king, so she approached Mordechai. So Mordechai was the one that trained her, brought her up. He was an uncle. So B'Meila, he was the one that was her guide. When she came to him, and she told him she doesn't know what to do, so he says, if you're going to be silent at this time, this point you're endangering everybody. So B'Meila, he says, you have to do what you have to do. This is a time of action. And B'Meila, she did what she had to do, and she risked herself, although she wasn't called to the king, and she came to the king. So the Rebbe says, we must say that it was by luck that she went to a Yid who was a Chassidish Yid, and B'Meila, he also gave her the appropriate, he gave her the guidance which was needed then. As a Chassid, he had a certain assistance from above, from heaven, to guide her in the right way. And the Rebbe says, how do we know he was a Chassidish Yid? The Rebbe says, who else would come up with a takana, with Adel Yoda, that a person should drink without limitations on Purim, if not a Chassid? It comes to the world, so they start misinterpreting things. That when the sages say to drink, it doesn't mean to drink, it means this, it means that, which is mamish not the literal meaning of what the Talmud is really telling us. By Chassidim, there's no kunsten, there's no tricks, there's no red tape, there's no other things, no strings connected. The B'shase comes to a Yid that he makes a takona adel yoda. Mordechai made a takona adel yoda. So b'meila,
What does that mean?
adel yoda, that a person should drink without limitations. Purim. So therefore, we must say the only one that can come with that is inyan of a chassid. Why is that so? Not because a chassid is connected with drinking, nor because the whole inyan of b'shas a person in nichnes yayin. B'shas a person drinks. So it says that then the inside, the innermost of a person is revealed, as we see it also in the story in different yonim that I mentioned, also in the Gemara Megillah, as there's a whole talk from the Rebbe about it, in regards to the story of Rab Zeira, V'chulo. Al Kopanim, what does it come out from that? That the inyan, the Gemara says, Agber Echamra Dardike, that in order that it should come out to reveal something, there's the inyan of Nichnas Yayin, Yotzasad. And when a person drinks, in a sense, a person that has contents. So b'meila then he reveals in yonim of Torah that till then were not revealed. And that's why we say also that in three things a person is recognized, in his kisei, bekesei, or bekasei. There are three things a person is recognized in. What is bekisei? Kisei is how stingy he is or how generous he is. Bekesei means when he drinks to see how he reacts. And bekaisei is with his anger, with his temper. So b'meila, bekisei, bekaisei, bekaisei. So b'meila, the Baldera says, from this we also understand that b'shas a person drinks, and a person, a chassidish person that drinks, b'meila he has in yonim of Teira, yonim of chassidus. So then it's bekaisei, he reveals then his pnimius, and b'meila in yonim of Teira that were not revealed up to then are revealed. And therefore, the Rebbe says, this is the uftu of a chassid, that Dafke Mordechai came up with that idea. Uftu? Uftu means the accomplishment. That this is an accomplishment from Mordechai. Dafke from a chassid. Now we go on to Sif Gimel. It is known the words of the Magid. And the Alter Rebbe, Bepirush Maamar Mishnah, the Rebbe is mentioning both. The Magid and the Alter Rebbe. In the Ayem Yem, the Rebbe mentions it in Yud Gimel Iyah. So Ayem Yem there it's. Generally, the word that's mentioned is Dam alamayla mimach, that a person should know what's higher than him. Literally, it means a person should know what's higher than him. So the Mela in Yud Gimel Iyah, the Rebbe says like this: Rabbeinu Hazokin, in the years that he would say short Maimarim, said, know what is above you. So the literal meaning is, what is above, that you should know what is above you. There is a seeing eye, a hearing ear, and all your deeds are recorded in a sefer. Comes the Mezritcha Magid. And Be'emes it says even earlier yet, the Baal Shem Tov, the Magid, the Alter Rebbe. And they say that know what is above you means know that everything above in the supernal spheres and partsufim, divine emanations and configurations, all derives from you. It all depends on man's service. Mela, this is basically what it means, is that a person should know that everything that he does has an influence, l'mayla, an impact on the higher heavens. So originally the word is from the Baal Shem Tov, then the word is from the Magid, Mezritcha Magid, the teacher of the Alter Rebbe. Then the word is from the Alter Rebbe himself. So as the Rebbe mentioned once in a Sicha, in a Maimer, I saw it lately, that the Alter Rebbe, after the Alter Rebbe repeated it in the name of the Mezritcha Magid, it later became part of him. It became part of his own Torah. Where did we find it? We find it in Halacha. In Halacha we find that al-Bechlal it says a person should say when he quotes something, when he says something from somebody earlier, he should say B'Shem Eimrei. Then in the name of the one he said it from, he should quote the source. Then we find that not always we see that happening. By Gdei Yisrael, by Torah giants, we don't find that they always do it. So the